Linear equations that have the same variable on both sides are used in a variety of situations to represent real-world scenarios where situations are compared. So, in this particular case, you want to first of all start by removing those parentheses. And the thing that removes parentheses is called distributive properties. So, to remove parentheses here, let's rewrite the equation. The equation says 5 parentheses open x plus 1 equals 2x plus 4. So parentheses occur on the left-hand side of the equation, but on the right-hand side of the equation, we do not have any parentheses. So let us remove the parentheses on the left-hand side. Removing the parentheses simply means multiplying each term inside the parentheses by 5. So there is a common factor of 5 outside the parentheses. And this is 5 times all these terms in here. So we will multiply x by 5, and we will also multiply that positive 1 by 5. So let's go. It's going to look like 5 times x plus 5 times 1, and then that equals, on the right hand side we don't have any parentheses, so everything on the right hand side stays as 2x plus 4. So there we go. Our parentheses, 5 times x is just, so this means 5 times x is just 5x plus 5 times 1 is just 5 equals 2x plus 4. Okay, now we have arrived at the step where we will have to collect like terms from each side of the equation. Okay, so the coefficient of x, the number that multiplies x on the left hand side, is 5. The number that multiplies x on the right hand side of the equation is 2. The smaller number is 2. We will subtract the smaller number from each side. So we will subtract 2x on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we will also subtract 2x. So this is a law of equations. Whatever you do on the left hand side, do the same thing on the right hand side. Whatever you do on the right hand side, do the same thing on the left hand side. So now let's subtract. 2x minus 2x is 0. So on the right hand side, we are not worried about the term x again. It has moved. It has been eliminated. So on the right hand side, we have our equal sign, and on the right hand side, just this 4 is sitting there. So we bring it down here. That positive 4 is sitting there. Now on the left hand side, let's simplify. 5x minus 2x is just 5 minus 2. They both have that last name x, so they are like terms. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 5x minus 2x is 3x. So we have 3x after subtracting. When we subtract 5x minus 2x, we get 3x. Now this positive 5 is not a like term to that. Okay, so you see why we are subtracting 2x on the x term, because they are like terms. So this positive 5 does not have the x, so it will come down here as positive 5. So now we have a new equation. So remember, this one became 0. 2x minus 2x became 0. So we're not worried about it again. We can cross that out. This became 0. Okay, so now we have a new equation. Our new equation says 3x plus 5 equals 4. This is a two-step equation that has resulted now. Okay, we're going to use our strategy for two-step equations to now proceed to solve the two-step equation that we now have. So two-step equation starts by undoing addition or subtraction. So here we see an addition. This is the addition right here. So let's undo addition. Undo that addition. So to undo addition, we use the opposite of adding, which is subtraction. So we will subtract 5 on this side and subtract 5 on this side. This is why we're doing it. See, the reason is right here. It pays off. 5 minus 5 is 0. So it tells us immediately why we did that. 5 minus 5 is 0. So we no longer have 5 on the left-hand side, because solving the equation means continue to remove all the terms that are on the same side with x until x stays on this side by itself. That is the meaning of solving the equation. In that way, we will find the actual or the true value of x. So when we do that, 5 minus 5 is 0. So our 3x comes down here, 3x. Now we don't worry about writing 0 here. There is no term in 5 anymore. This is it subtracted over here. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Okay, so now our equation says 3x equals negative 1. So the next step in a two-step equation is to undo multiplication. So now we undo multiplication, but where is the multiplication? Do you see any multiplication there? The 3x means 3 times x. So there is a multiplication sign there that is hiding. 3x means 3 times x. So to remove multiplication, we use division. Fraction bar divide by 3. And the law of equation says whatever you divide on the left-hand side, divide the same thing on the right-hand side. So we also divide a negative 1 by 3. So 3 divided by 3 here is 1. So now we have 1x equals negative 1 over 3. Now on this side, negative 1 over 3 is already in simplest form. So we don't need to mess with it anymore. We just let it sit as a fraction. It is okay, I repeat, it is okay to have a fraction for an answer to a math problem. So 1x is also just the same as x. So our answer is x equal to negative 1 over 3. Okay, in addition, if you were choosing your answers and you had A, B, C, D, okay, if they say select all that apply, and you solve the problem you got here, and then they say select all that apply. And then for A, you have negative 1 over 3. That looks like what you have. And B, you have 1 over negative 3. That doesn't really look like what you have. And then C, you have 1 over 3. And then D, you have negative 1 over 3. And then E, you have negative 3. Which of these are correct? Okay, so this fraction is negative. We know that a negative number divided by a positive number stays negative. So whatever it is, this whole fraction is negative. So the first answer, if you want to select all that apply, then this first one is very correct because it looks exactly like what you have, negative 1 over 3. Now, the second one doesn't look like what you have. The negative has gone to the denominator. The one at the numerator is positive. But think about it. Is the fraction negative in total? Okay, is the whole fraction negative? Because we know a negative number divided by a positive number is negative. So this is a positive divided by a negative. That is still negative. So this is another way of writing it. So if you're selecting all that apply, this B is also correct. Okay, so you just learned that negative 1 over 3 is also the same as 1 over negative 3. Okay, when you are using fraction bars, you need to be careful. Okay, C says 1 over 3, there is no negative. It is not at the numerator, it's not at the denominator. This whole thing is positive. No. Okay, D has a negative, but it is not on the 1, it is not on the 3, it is in front of the division sign, telling you that the whole fraction is negative, that this positive 1 divided by that positive 3 doesn't really count, but the whole fraction is negative. This is correct as well. So negative 1 over 3 is also the same as negative, then 1 over 3. Okay, the whole fraction is negative. Now, E is giving you the reciprocal, which is not what you have here. So E is not correct.